Residents in Chicago's Woodlawn neighborhood have new migrant neighbors, and they are not happy about it.
Complaints of repeated burglaries and attacks on the elderly have the community outraged, and the city adding insult to injury with their plan to turn a rec center into a shelter for migrants.
Why you're displacing the at-risk youth here now to bring in other displaced youth.
Our groups want to welcome people. We want to be a part of the solution. This facility could be a part of the solution, but as a recreational facility, as a hub for services for migrants.
Here now, Seattle radio host and author of What's Killing America, the great Jason Rantz is here. Jason, good to see you. So listen, how does this change? Because this sounds like just insanity from politicians. Do the voters revolt?
Well, you would think that they would have by now. I mean, if there was ever a city that does not care about its residents and makes that clear over and over and over again, it's Chicago. I hope every single person who is upset about what's going on is paying attention to how they're feeling right now. Because we have pointed out the far left sort of jump that the city has been taking and the politicians have been taking for a long time, and yet they go ahead and go with the mayor who's even farther to the left. So as of now, there doesn't seem to be an end in sight. I don't know if this is going to be the last straw, but one would hope that it is.
Meantime, Jason, King County, Washington declared racism a public health crisis, so they're going to spend $25 million to address it. And it isn't just some local concept. Some Senate Democrats calling on Biden to declare racism a national public health crisis. What in the hell?
So this is a scam. This is reparations without having to go through any local lawmakers. For this particular program here, in order to qualify, you needed to be black and a descendant of enslaved Africans, none of which is checked. And you have to have had experienced systemic racism. And on top of that, you have to have been focused on dismantling systemic racism. However, I'm looking at the list of all the recipients of the grant money, including a minimum, I believe, of $100,000. We've got on that list a restaurant in Seattle that closed in March. We have a couple juice bars on there. So I'm not entirely sure I know how that's them defeating systemic racism, but getting cold-pressed juice probably doesn't do a thing. This is just giving money to black-owned businesses. It's a form of reparations. They just don't want to label it that.
Yeah, and Jason, I think this all works and sounds great until all the citizens of that community have to start paying the bill. And then they might go, well, whoa, I love people getting money, but I don't want to pay it.
Well, it's not even just that, because I think that's obviously true, right? I mean, these are taxpayer dollars going into this, and at some point you end up pushing back like you're taxing us too much. But in this case, this was only for black and indigenous people. And so I imagine there's going to be other groups of folks who are saying, okay, what about us? We're also struggling. What about Asian American owned businesses or Latino owned business, or excuse me, Latinx owned businesses? What are we supposed to do here? I do think they're going to start to push back, and there's going to be this initial reaction to give them money. But when you do that, you just create a vicious cycle where more people are asking for money, more money.
The most racist thing that these politicians actually do is not fighting crime and allowing these neighborhoods to descend into chaos because the businesses leave and they become wastelands. And people are left with no resources and no services. It's racist. And not educating children is racist. And allowing these teachers' unions to dominate the school system, that's racist. Not
100%. The people who are impacted the most are disproportionately black.
So true. Jason Rantz, always wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Friday, great weekend.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks.
You too.